So, you may have watched this video of mine from 2 weeks ago where I talk about, well, pretty much about burning out on YouTube over and over again. The effects of burnouts can be quite damaging. It may cause you to stop uploading new content or maybe upload subpar quality content that does not contribute to your channel's growth. And I attribute my own burnout to one simple failure of mine, which is my failure in planning the direction and goal of my YouTube channel. Now, in the last 2 weeks or so, I have been doing a lot of self-reflection, a lot of thinking, trying to come up with a solution to this so that I can continue to do what I do best without compromising my mental health and state of mind. And I think I have this figured out, and I hope this helps you too. Now, usually every YouTube channel begins with a niche, and we are often told to create content around this niche. But I find this to be very restrictive. For example, if my YouTube channel is all about growing a YouTube channel, I may restrict myself to talking about YouTube analytics or getting subscribers or increasing views. These three categories, whilst perfectly aligned with the niche, is what I believe burns me out. You see, these three categories have two weaknesses. The first one is they are factual, meaning it is heavily dependent on proven concepts and strategies. So the information is quite stagnant and it is going to change maybe once every few months. So if I want to talk about this on a weekly basis, I will either run out of topics to say because there's only so much I can discover, or I will end up repeating myself over and over again. And that kind of makes me a stale content creator, which is by far the biggest insult to a content creator in my opinion. So that is the first weakness, facts. The second weakness is you lose your unique identity on YouTube. For me, I can continue talking about YouTube growth, about all the ways to get subscribers and views. But that doesn't make me unique, especially when compared to other more established YouTube channels who are in the same niche as me. Take for example vidIQ. They upload at an extraordinary rate. They cover pretty much everything there is to cover about YouTube, and it is almost impossible to compete with them. So when I start looking at my competitors and how they are thriving and I'm not, I get envious, I start to doubt my own capability, I start to feel like a loser, and I burn out, and then my channel suffers as well. But why does this all matter? Well, if you take into consideration what I just said, you may notice that the root cause of this all is actually how we go about producing these categories. Most of the time when we start our YouTube channel, we look at our competitors and we either copy or follow the videos they do, hoping to ride on their momentum and take some views away from them. It is not easy to steal views, but it is doable, and I highly recommend that way to any small channels as well, because that is the best way to get started and learn. But there will come a time when we need to step out of our competitors' circle and do things on our own, our way. And I think many content creators failed to step out. Instead, they continue the same way done by others over and over again, hoping they too will get their chance to shine. This isn't entirely their fault either. I mean, I'm sure there comes a time where you saw a silly, low-quality video go viral and you thought to yourself, if a video like this goes viral, then I'm sure mine will go viral too, since I can produce much better quality than this person. So in order to get better and push yourself to the next level, I think these categories need to evolve to something new, something that represents you, something that makes you unique. The best person to understand how to evolve is, of course, you, so I cannot comment on what you should do. However, I will use myself as an example so that you can apply the same understanding to your channel as well. Alright, so my channel has always been around YouTube as a side hustle. That's the niche I find most success in. These three categories I have here, YouTube analytics, subscribers, and views, are what I talk about a lot until I exhaust them and they no longer help me grow my YouTube channel anymore. Hence, I need to evolve them. Now, I don't like to call them categories anymore at this stage. Instead, I like to call them pillars. These pillars are the pillars of my YouTube channel. They are what holds my YouTube channel and when used together forms a unique identity in me. The idea behind these pillars is to allow us to create what we love and enjoy, but do not stray too far away from what our channel is about. So for example, my channel is still about YouTube as a side hustle, so I will definitely need YouTube growth as one of my pillars. However, my second pillar is now going to be YouTube channel reviews, where I provide channel reviews for those who signed up to my newsletter. So from here, I no longer do research on YouTube tips and tricks, but instead, I help channels smaller than mine grow. It is still related to YouTube, but it is no longer about just numbers and strategies. My third pillar is case study. So I want to do things like analyzing how other YouTube channels grow in a short amount of time, or how other YouTube channels make money in different ways. Again, it is not tips and tricks, but me and my viewers are learning from those who are more successful than us, and we share and we apply and we grow together from there. And that is my third pillar, still related to YouTube as a side hustle, but again, not talking about numbers and growth that I discover anymore. So you can see how these three pillars strays away from my usual YouTube growth strategies, which frankly speaking, I've already exhausted all ideas. But having these three pillars gives me the opportunity to diversify and experiment around what other formats works with my audience. And of course, it keeps my sanity intact as well. And after establishing these pillars, the next thing to do is going to be proper planning, like a content planner. Because if you want to grow your channel properly, you need to know where you're heading, am I right? Now, I use ClickUp for my content planning. This is a sample I have prepared for you. You can see I have the topic of my video, what number it is to show how far I've come. I've got the status, a checkbox for editing and thumbnail. I've also added a new column called Content Pillar, which I have just spoken about. This column is a drop-down list that allows me to select which content pillar this video is for. Doing it this way allows me to gauge my video output so that I do not overproduce in certain content pillars, if you know what I mean. If you want this template I'm using, you can actually download and use it for free. Just click on my ClickUp link in my description down below and it will lead you to sign up to ClickUp, which is completely free. Then ClickUp will automatically download my template to your dashboard and it will be ready to use. So feel free to use it if you do not want to create one yourself. My gift to you. Alright, so for you eagle-eyed viewers, you may have noticed my content pillar actually contains 4 content pillars instead of the 3 I mentioned. And you're right, I actually have 4 content pillars because I always save the best for the last. In fact, my last content pillar is the most important one of all, and it is simply called me. The me pillar is something I think is necessary for any YouTube channel. It is about creating content that we love, not our audience, not the algorithm, but us. What this means is I am free to experiment around with different ideas. For example, sometimes I like to talk about motivational stuff or finance, but I don't get to because I'm tied down to my YouTube niche. So this me pillar allows me to do just that. I would still stick somewhat related to my main niche though, because I don't want to make too big of a difference as well. For instance, maybe I want to share something I learned from Tony Robbins, so I want to share how that can be applied to running a YouTube channel. Or maybe I want to talk about finance or the importance of achieving financial freedom. I will then find a way to look at that from a content creator's perspective. Needless to say, the me pillar is going to produce videos that do not resonate well with the audience. So low views are to be expected. On top of that, storytelling also plays an important role in this because the story is what stitches the message we want to send with our niche and audience. So that's the me pillar. I think it is necessary because we as content creators sometimes need to create things for ourselves and not just for the audience. The good thing about this pillar is even though it will most likely flop, It does allow us to try different things with our channel, different possibilities that could potentially explode our channel. Not only that, it also gives us our own unique identity, one that sets our channel apart from others, which I think is severely lacking on YouTube, especially when every channel out there mimics Mr. Beast, at least for now. If these pillars are done right, you can find different ways to expand from your niche and diversify into different topics that you and your audience may enjoy. And with that me pillar, there's always this unknown element of what can happen. We may even discover untapped topics that are lacking in content, which could be what our channel needs. Whatever it is, it keeps us on our toes. It keeps things fresh and surprising, and I strongly believe that is what most content creators need in order to avoid burning out over and over again.